Welcome to the Responsible Marketing Podcast, conversations about marketing, sustainability, and how we can all help in becoming more responsible organisations. I'm Jo, a marketing strategist and consultant, also flying the flag for a more sustainable and kind future for all. This time, I'm joined by Terry South, Technical Support Manager at ISR Laser. My conversation with Terry covers all number of areas from first impressions, the education system, idea generation, and where China might just have it right in terms of business. But we kick off with Terry's incredible engineering career in the military, clearing landmines and working across the world. How responsibility comes in all sorts of guises, and it's up to each of us to see where our responsibilities lie. And of course we talk about ISR's unique proposition, one that lends itself to keeping costs down, machines turning, contributing to reducing carbon footprint, and finding new markets in unusual places. There's a lot packed into this episode, so without any more delay, let's dive straight in. Hi everyone and welcome to the podcast. I'm delighted to have Terry South from ISR Laser cleaning with me this afternoon. Hi Terry.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I am good.
Yeah, shining, life is good.
Upbeat, off to see a client after this, new client. What more do you want?
Excellent, that is good news. Or maybe talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
So, just tell us a bit about yourself. I met you maybe probably 3 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen each other for a little while. So, and also I've done a lot of research on you. So I know you've got a really interesting background.
Yeah.
Nothing dodgy. It's all very interesting.
All very interesting.
So would you mind telling my watchers and listeners a bit about yourself, your background, because I think there's just some fascinating stuff that lends itself really well to the podcast before we even start on the work you do now.
Right. After leaving school, I was at a bit of a loose end and the mines were closing and other work was finishing. And I was at loose end as to where I was going to go and what I was to do, but I wanted to be involved in engineering. I didn't really have the education for it, so I joined the army and I got an apprenticeship. And so from there it was great, Royal Engineers, doing well. And then I was shipped off to the Parachute Regiment where I worked as an engineer with them with a small specialist unit called 9 Squadron. So with them I went around Europe, Germany, off to Denmark, other places. I ended up in West Africa, in the Gambia. Came back, I had a serious car accident. I went to the Army College afterwards because I couldn't function. And later on, I was moved off to the Royal Marines to work with them in Northern Ireland. So from there, military background, I've had a world of experience at a very young age.
Yeah. In
engineering. So working in different languages in engineering, which was one of the keys to my future. And then I ended up in the Falklands in 1982, and we were clearing minefields, and we were using Argentinians who had came across to work with us.
Right.
So we had interpreters, we had Argentinian engineers work with us who laid the minefields, and we had to clear them. So you're putting your life in your hands of a guy who 2 days before you were shooting at.
Yeah.
So it was really an experience. So
that's a big one expression for it, my word.
So from there, years later, you get out of the army and it's like, what do you want to do? But one thing I'd seen that I was good with was communication and the languages bit.
Okay.
And
did you pick them up quickly, the languages? Did you pick them up or did you understand it?
I didn't because I didn't see the need. And a lot of kids at school, you never see the need for it, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But later on in life, when you see it working, and that language would give me another string to my bow. So after I got out, I ended up working with a local company, and they asked me to go to China. Yeah, I'll go. So I went to China, Hong Kong, got on really well with the people. Come back, and it was like, the job's not going to go for a couple of years because I haven't got the money. Will you go to Russia? So I went to Russia for 3 years. And I worked for a company in Russia called Moskva, which was Moscow City Bridges. So from there, I ended up transiting my way around Gorky Park and all these other Moskvitsky Most and Red Square, all these places. Wow. I knew them really well, I knew the bridges. I could identify a lot of the things. And so from there, I ended up working up towards St. Petersburg. So originally I started in 95 with 8 blokes. And come 97, I'm working on my own in northern Russia. Good God. So comes back from that, comes in, settles back in the company, and it was like, you've changed this, you've changed that, and you've got to shoehorn yourself back in.
Yeah, I'm
And
going to say that's not
take,
easy to do.
take a few bumps, and I used to be here and now I'm here because he knows what he's doing and I don't. So got called in the office, will you go to China? Yeah. So I off to China in February 1998, and I came back like 4 years ago. So I had 23 years.
Amazing.
And what I eventually ended up doing was working the Beijing timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked from out of Mongolia,
Mm-hmm.
where I worked for 3 years, all the way down to Australia. So the company I ended up working for would build sort of large warehouses, facilities, would build them, and then it's right, you've got to go to Australia to put it up. Okay then.
What, so they build them in one place, ship it,
Build
and
it.
then,
Fabricate it,
yeah?
because it's all done digitally, so this should fit that should fit that should fit that. You know, it all works in digitally, and then it's a case of ship it down to Australia, go and put it up. So okay then. Well, you're going to go? Yeah, I'm going to go. So off I went to Australia to put these pieces up.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, it's taking responsibility for what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So we're doing like a 15% build. We'll put it together, you know, make sure these sections work, things that were repeated around the building, the corners, certain centre sections, and then just go together and lay them flat on the ground, you know, as long as they match up, the holes are aligned, great, I ship it to Australia. So one funny thing really happened with that was, I'm talking to these Australian guys on the phone, and there's no sort of visual. I'm talking to guys on the phone, yeah, fine, yeah. Phone goes down, listen. Comes from head office. Terry, they want you to go. Well, I run the factory. No, they want the guy they're talking to that speaks Geordie English. But you see, the thing is, because I can't see you, and my Chinese name is Nandali Xinjiang,
Okay.
and it's like, I pick the phone up, hey Nandali Xinjiang, hey Hana, and you go on talking, is that Terry? So you end up talking, so I landed in Perth, and there's a guy there with my name in Chinese.
Oh my word. Not
Right?
expecting you.
Not expecting me. So now there's a huge wind-up going on, and I'm sitting this Australian bloke, hey, that's me, and I get, no,
Yeah.
that's me. There's my name card, mate. No! So they're really worried about it.
Oh.
But, you know, you get there, it was like real buzz, we had a laugh on them, and we started on a high and we finished. Great job.
Yeah. So you're fluent in Mandarin, is that right?
Yeah.
That's amazing. And any other languages, by the way?
I spoke Russian for a while because when they said, will you go to Russia, my own experience taught me that you need to be able to communicate.
Yeah.
And the big thing is, if someone's paying your wages, you've really got to do the thing and learn to speak. So I went to Bede.
It's courtesy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's courtesy.
Yeah.
And I went to Bede night school. I went to night school for about 6 months to learn Russian. And that was good at the time because the class was full, because we just had the tall ships.
Oh.
They'd been in Newcastle, and there was 2 Russian vessels that they wouldn't allow to go back to sea.
Oh my goodness.
And we had quite a few people who owned hotels and guest houses in this classroom. So it was quite a big course, and it was good because you could communicate quite well.
So you could have been taken as a spy while you were over there, really.
That's what my son calls me.
Yeah. There's definitely,
Dad, you're a spy.
I think there's definitely some dual life stuff going on. I know, wait for your book to come out and then I'll read it properly. Yeah, definitely. So what did you learn from those cultures? Obviously the part you've got the respect parts. Did you find it hard to fit into the culture in China, for example, or even Russia? You know, it must be very different. So as a kind of, obviously you went when you were, 20 odd years ago? 23, well, nearly 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That's quite a different Terry to the Terry now. So how did you prepare for that, and what did you learn most from?
Well, when I went
culture
before I went to Russia, I went to Bede school.
Yeah.
And before I went to China, I asked the company to get me a language course in Chinese. So they got me a language and culture course. So what happened was I ended up at Durham University working with the Chinese students and then having 1 day a week with a lecturer.
Yeah.
Called Mei Kailan, who was absolutely brilliant because she lived in China and she knew what to do and she knew how the integration worked. So that was good, you know, and it's a case of prepare yourself. You know, proper planning and preparation prevents poor performance.
Yeah.
So you've got to understand the culture you're going into. And my military background taught me that. If you're going to go somewhere, you're going to prepare for it. It's a bit like, one of the things I learned was, you get there, you say, I'm jet lagged. Yeah, but you've known for 6 months you were coming. Why didn't you change your natural clock?
Yeah.
Even by 2 or 3 hours, so you blend in.
Yeah.
You get there and say, oh, I'm tired. Oh, you want to go to bed early. And the next morning you're up, you know, before daylight. And it's like, isn't that daft? You know, when you've had all this time to prepare and you've done nothing about it. So that is one thing that really annoys me about business, in that people don't go into detailed preparation for doing a job. I have a job in Newcastle in August, and they took me in February, showed me the job and asked me, what do we need to do to plan this, to get it right for you, to mitigate the cost, the time, the rest of it. Because we've got 6 months to do it and set up your budget, the rest of it. So I give them a plan. They set up the budget, the time, the rest of it. It's all fixed. So if the client is concerned that much about it, what have you done in preparation for it? And you say, oh, well, I'm a last minute guy. That's not what the client's buying. The client's buying satisfaction, ease.
And it's fine if you are a last minute guy. It's fine as long as you...
As long as it performs.
That's what I'm going to say.
If you break down...
meets the expectations of the client, right?
You're gone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess also, from your military background, correct me if I'm wrong, I would guess you want to go in as friendly fire, not hostile fire straight away, don't you? So, you know, it's a case of, yes, okay, let's do this as humans. As
the
respectfully.
You know, the other thing is going to Russia and to China as a specialist. You know, you're going to another man's country and telling them how to do it. Which is like, no. Nobody's going to accept that. So what you've got to do is look at it and find what you can accept, which is equivalent, so that they have some input. Because if they have input, they'll feel part of it, and therefore they'll work with you. After working for a Washington company, I ended up being poached really by a German company. Because my time was over, it was time to come back. I said, Terry, come work for us. We've got a 3-year job for you.
Okay.
So when you got the language, it's like, 3 years, 3 years is better than working on the M25, you know?
Yeah, sure.
So I goes to work for them, and I'm being interviewed in Munich, and yes, you got the job, yes, you signed your contract, and then it's a case of, I just want to tell you this, so we're upfront and honest with you, and now you've signed.
Yeah, very upfront and honest.
We've had 6 people out there, and they've all come back. And
all right.
We've come to you because you've been there 3 years plus, and you were there earlier on, and how do you do it? And so when I got to the factory, it was like, let's go around and find what they're good at.
Yeah, okay.
And let's pull that in to what we do. And therefore you give people status, you give them credibility, you give them positions. And on that you can build a relationship, you can build a team. You can't build a team and say, right, stop that, I want all that clean, I want that done. Just gradually build on what they've got.
So when the others had come back, you mean that they'd almost been asked to exit, presumably, or
they done it themselves?
Well, yeah.
this is not a good career move.
Yeah, okay.
Which is a lot of people, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's very different.
But ironically, the thing with China was, you had a lot of companies needed to send people, and they sent people that didn't get on in their own system.
Okay.
We'll send them, we'll promote them, promote them up and promote them out. We're promoting him out of our office.
Yeah, away from us.
Now he's on the international books, not on our books. Gone. And these guys would turn up and you'd be stood at the bar with your mates going, he's not last long.
Oh, Lord.
He's not here for long, he's too mouthy.
Square peg.
Yeah.
Too square peg.
Yeah, he's too set in his ways, he's not flexible enough. And
they're not willing to learn, I guess, you know.
Yeah, you've always got to be willing to learn. If you're not willing to learn, you're not accepting technology, you're not doing other things, which means you're on your back foot all the time, you know, which is the problem now with industry in Britain, you know.
Yeah, well, I think you're right. So let's move on to ISR then, because I still think, I mean, not that I'm a guru of business in the world, clearly, or the UK, but I have not heard of another proposition like ISR, still even now. I
Well,
don't think there's anyone else that does it. It's very unique.
Yeah, we are quite unique. We've got one garage down in sort of Middlesbrough Teesside doing cars and doing odd bits. But we've branched out from engineering into civil engineering.
Yeah, okay.
You know, because engineering as such in the northeast just hasn't accepted it with the companies we've gone to.
Mm.
But the ironic thing is, it's not in the education system.
Okay.
So if it's not, I'll give you for instance. I went to see a company and they really loved what they're saying.
Mm.
Minimal waste. The cuts in the waste bill will pay for the laser within a year. Brilliant. Just buy a Chinese laser. I'll do the walking and talking for you. I'll get the guarantee. Good company. It's a good machine for what you're paying. Because the technology is moving so fast. Are you going to buy a massive machine from Germany or the south of England where they do make them? When you buy a Chinese machine, so people get used to using it and you don't waste your money damaging something that's expensive.
Yeah, okay.
So I go in, I talk to this guy and he's like, we'll love it, right. Then they go and talk to the apprentices, right, I want to talk about laser cleaning. I've seen it on the internet, but we don't do it at college. Okay. So that guy then is totally using a remote company.
Yeah.
The guys who are coming through with apprentices aren't even being taught the basics. It's only what they've seen on the internet. It's like the education system's failing engineering.
Yeah.
Massively. And that's what really gets me annoyed, because when you go to civil engineering, it's different. It's like, does it work? All I'm bothered about.
Interesting.
Because
so just take us through what actually happens first, so that people understand what you do and what you use to do it.
We use a laser.
Yeah.
There's two types of laser. There's what's called a pulse laser, which is on-off all the time, but it's nanoseconds. So there's no heat transmitted because it's going on and off and got time to cool. And the movement of the waste also does a cooling action. Then you've got a solid laser, which is a constant wave laser, which is full on all the time, which does create heat, if not operated correctly. Okay. Yeah. So when you hit something with a laser, what you're actually doing is you're looking for what's called the abulation rate, which is, if you've got rust will absorb the energy, which is light, like getting a heavy sunburn. Yeah. Yeah. Energy is absorbed. It absorbs so much energy, it combusts. And combusts, probably the wrong word, but it vaporizes. Yeah. So it vaporizes and it just comes off as a vapor and you end up with a clean piece of metal. But there's not enough energy for it to go into the metal. Okay. You get it set right, so you just hit the rust, evaporate it, pull it off in a vacuum. You know, so what you've done is, because you've vaporized it, you've reduced its size, volume. It's now all in a dust bag. Yeah. Whereas if you'd blasted it, you've got the blast medium, you've got the noise, you've got the dirt, you've got the pollution. Very different. Yeah, a lot clearing up to do. Yeah. And the other thing we now find is
potential damage, I guess. So,
yeah, especially if you've got thin plates. Yeah. Or something like that. Or for one insurance company, we went in and did an investigation, we cleaned something. Oh. And it was like, there's the damage there. Right. Wow. It's broke. There's a fracture in there, that piece of steel. Yeah. Because there was a thump, 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 and they couldn't understand what it was as this wheel went round. Oh my goodness. And there was a fracture in the steel. Yeah. Which you couldn't see until it was dirty. So you get some dirt, rub it in, laser it again, that's it.
That's amazing.
So it's learning how they're used. Yeah. Because the other thing is, it's easier to use, because when you've got a blaster, you get the jet reaction. Yeah. But with a laser, it's light, you've got none. So we go up onto a building and we're doing the laser, but we don't need a huge scaffold. We can do it off a lightweight tower, we can do it off a lift, and so you've cut your cost. Massively. And so when you're doing historic buildings, you're not putting scaffolding up, you're not banging holes in, tying your scaffolding to the wall, making marks. It's like laser, 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 finished, move on.
It's amazing. I'm quite blown away by, vaporised by it. So I'll probably vaporise in a minute. Yeah. I still find it so, but there's obviously industries that won't or are reluctant to accept it because it's so new and they don't understand it's the education maybe is failing on that.
But go back to the guys in Newcastle. Yeah. who booked me for August.
Yes.
They've seen it once.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you who it is, but they gave up their production to a European factory of the same company because the factory was more modern.
Okay.
You know, it's just, this is update, it's high spec factory, great. But there's still a machine in Newcastle capable of producing it. So they moved the production there, 5 years, but this machine stood in Newcastle, done nothing. About 18 months ago, or just over a year, there was floods in Spain.
Yes.
And the factory was wiped out.
Ooh.
We've got to move production now back to Newcastle. Terry, can you come and clean this machine? We're waiting We're waiting, yes I can. So we went up, looked at it. Right, we'll come back tomorrow, it's an emergency job. Get this. So we cleaned it off. And he said, you know what? He says, the sensors on the end of these rollers are obsolete. We can't get them anymore. If you couldn't clean that, the whole thing's off. But we went in and done this job, and we saved them an absolute fortune.
Yeah.
Because everything was left in place. Didn't have to take it apart. And that's sort of the difference, you know, because normally if I see it, I can clean it.
Yeah, okay.
You know, so that is a great advantage, because there's additional parts, additional time. Don't need it.
No, I mean, if you go back to that example, for example, when they had to move the factory back from Spain to UK.
Production, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, production, yes, back to the UK, they would have had to reinvest on almost, if that site's been there for 5 years, if it wasn't for your technology, then they would have had to probably relay the
well, because these sensors were obsolete, they would have had to rewire the whole machine with a new system.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. So you imagine the time.
Yeah. See, one company would go in and we just clean the threads on the open bolts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the Allen key heads, we go in and clean them. And then when the guys come to do the dismantling during the shutdown period, put some oil on it, crack the nut, off it comes.
Yeah.
You save the stud coming out, you save binding the nuts on, you save yourself a lot of time.
So that shutdown could be 3 days rather than a week.
Well,
in theory, I suppose, if that's what you should do.
As experienced guys, you create a lot of the problems by the way you work. You know, and it's seeing how these technologies fit in to sort these problems out.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you've got to look at, and that's the thing about the UK, you see. What I say is, everywhere in the world is a developing country. Yeah, and that's what we've got to accept. And we've got to accept that in the UK because technology moves so fast.
Yeah.
They don't understand the practical, but they understand the theory of it, yeah, a lot of the time. But in China, right, and in Asia, what's happened is this development's gone on for like 30, 40 years. So everybody is involved in pulling in new technology. Because one of the things the Chinese government said was, the age of the factories we build and production lines we import from Europe can't be older than, say, 1970.
Yeah.
We're still using things from the 50s and 60s. So they've got modern factories, so, you know, they're smaller, produce more.
Yeah. And
people say, oh, he's bigging up China, you know. But the thing is, it's the reinvestment, you know,
it's to keep.
But China also has this marketplace, and we don't. Our marketplace is limited, and we've got to export it. You know, that's why China's produced these beautiful cars we've got here, because they've got a market for it. But now their marketplace is full, they've got to export them to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big thing. So it's a case of reinventing it yourself in the company, changing the way you do things. You know, and at every level of the company, there should be education. Forget about, for this moment in time, apprenticeships, they're a given, but guys on the shop floor should have 1 week a year where they're getting educated. Yeah. How do we introduce AI? How do we do this? How do that? Because if somebody comes to me and says, oh, I've worked there for 28 years and I've worked on those 3 machines for the last 25 years, you're a waste of time. How has the company moved you on?
Yeah. But I think there's also this issue where, certainly in manufacturing, so my background's manufacturing originally, and certainly in manufacturing where there's this skill gap. So obviously they've got people who are nearing retirement age, so anywhere between say 55 and 70, let's say.
Right, wait a minute, so stop with that. So the skill gap,
Yeah,
in my opinion,
yeah.
is in the older people.
Well, not always though,
Because
they're
they
not even
haven't-
sharing their expertise. I know it might be old expertise, but even in a process-led environment, or they've seen something happen before, they're not even sharing that with the younger generations that are coming through. So not only are these, like you just said, so the apprentices that you said have never seen the laser cleaning before, they're also not necessarily being shared the experience from the guys who've been in the industry for a long time.
Yeah, but that's where
It's
you've
a
got...
double whammy, right?
Yeah, but that's where you've got this integration problem, where the older guys don't see real benefit from these younger ones,
Yeah.
because they're talking in dots and dashes,
Yes.
and these are talking in inches,
Yeah, it's true.
you know? And that's why education should be an ongoing process, and mentoring,
Yeah,
job sharing,
yeah.
it should be something that's done rather than us and a them.
And not just responsibility of the business to do that, but also the responsibility of the individuals, I think, as well, to push for it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, at that
You know.
time, you're educating the older fellas
Yeah,
as to the benefits of what these guys are doing.
yeah.
You know, so I've worked for the company for 28 years, yeah, and when you leave, there's going to be a huge hole.
Exactly.
You know, so why weren't these younger guys brought with you? And it's a case of, oh, well, I feel my job. There is a lot of that, you know, and you've got to just be open-minded about the whole thing.
Well, I mean, if you believe the media, no one's going to have a job, are they? So it's all going to be taken by robots eventually. So, yeah, I know it's a tough one. It's definitely a tough one.
It is, but it's keeping up the education, because
Yeah.
when these younger guys have got all this knowledge and they can't get on, it's like, well, you lose them.
Well, of course, they'll go somewhere else.
You lose them. It's gone.
Or they lose their interest, which is
Yeah.
actually even worse, isn't it?
Because when a lot of guys, when they leave their apprenticeship, they leave the company.
Yeah.
They stay for 6 months, 9 months,
Yeah.
as per the rule,
Yeah.
and then they're
they'll be
gone.
off.
And see, they're being poached. No, somebody offered him a future. Somebody offered him a career.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you should have used the word grooming him from early stages of
Duty of
apprenticeship.
care, isn't it?
What you want to do with him.
Yeah.
You know, show me he's got a future in the
Yeah,
company.
exactly.
You know, instead of...
Or ask him what he'd like his future to be in the business. Even nicer, even better, right?
Yeah, because that's where the annual interview, I've got my annual sit down, and what is it? It's a ticky box question answer. Tick, tick, tick. Yeah. See you next year. Yeah, I'll be the same. No, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? You know, and then...
Or we think you could do this, you could champion this project, whatever it might be, you know?
Yeah, but this ticky box annual thing is like, I'm wasting my time. Yeah. They've got no interest, really.
No, you're just a number.
You're just a number. I'm going out, we're back in the machine, end of, a box has been ticked, finish.
Yeah.
And that's what I dislike, because I used to have Chinese stuff, and it was like, I used to ask them for ideas. You know, give us, how can we do that? How can we do that? You know, and try and move them forward.
Because every human wants to be...
They want to be part of it.
Yeah, part of it. It becomes a community. If you think how much time you spend averagely at work or whatever, or within the people, with the people you work with, why wouldn't you want to be thought of as part of that, and actually, you know, responsible for a part of that as well? That's what people like. They like a bit of responsibility.
Yeah, well, it's going back to, if you integrate people and ideas, there's a huge piece of machinery or goes out, it's like, I did that.
Yeah.
That's me, that bit.
Absolutely. I still walk around showrooms and say, yeah, that was partly to do me, that. Sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
In fact, it's really sad it's still going. But I've left the industry, I don't know, 15 years ago, but there we are. Yeah, anyway. So just back to the education thing. Obviously you said about the laser cleaning technically is quite new to a lot of industries in the UK. So how do you find trying to educate those businesses? You said did you say the mechanical engineering industry were quite reluctant to accept it?
It appears to be,
Yeah. So how do you try and educate people on the benefits of it? Because there are so many.
Well, we try and put out something at least every 2 weeks on the net. Yeah. And
as in video footage or
as in video footage, whether it be a lot of people's factories, they don't want in it. If you're working in a factory, so we've got BMX bikes, we've got Bamborough Castle, cleaning Bamborough Castle, we've got all kinds of things on there, you know, cleaning parts for engines, trucks, this, that and the other. But we do a lot of country fairs. So we're doing country fairs, and next thing you know, October, November, December, we're working with farmers. Because as soon as they finish harvesting, the tractors come in, they wash them down, clean them down, get them ready for next year, because they've got to run on the day they press the button.
Absolutely.
We do the lasering off, whether it be wheels, brakes, underside, they're repainted, made ready. We're in the barn, they want it out as quick as we can, they're out, and then lambing starts. So we've got a niche there now, but we started that at country fairs, you know. And what I'm finding, when you actually get out of the main trying to email somebody, at the country fairs, that you're meeting people on the off day who own a factory, do something. We've just been down to Yorkshire last weekend gone, and on the Sunday there was a sports car event. Thousands of sports cars in Yorkshire, and we're there, and the people we are talking to own factories, run production lines. I've never seen this before. How does this work? Wow. So we're already talking to one company now about going in, spend half a day with them, show them where we can assist them in fabrication. Because you can't get through the front door. So now, by fair means or foul, we're trying to circumvent this by shows, displays, that sort of thing. Other than what you're putting on
and
the
it is
net.
a bit show and tell, isn't it, for you? Like, they have to see it, because that's where the proof is.
Yeah, it does what it says on the tin.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you can't quote that paint company. So I was doing some research. So obviously, like I said, my background is manufacturing. Now, I know we had shut down at least once a year, mainly over Christmas, to be fair, to do maintenance, repairs, everything else. But some stats are now, in the UK, on average, a production manufacturing facility would lose 50 hours a year just in machinery shutdown. Now, not all to do with kind of breakdowns and stuff like that, but a lot of it to do with the fact that they haven't kept up maintenance or repair work because it's too costly. So they literally, you know, break the machine because it's worked so hard, or it gets so gummed up with rust, or whatever they're doing with it, and then they can't replace it. So it's detrimental to the business. So if that's actually what's happening in the real world, why are they not opening their eyes to what you can offer? Like, what do you think the barriers are? Is it just because it's new?
No,
it's new. Is it because there are older brains at the top of the companies who think, no, it's not for us, or the maintenance side? No, we've done it this way for years. We've always had Jim in with his blaster. We'll have that instead.
It's easy to go on as you always have done and don't bring, because very often when you bring in a new system, you've got to change things and you've got to change the mindset. The health and safety, you've got to start and learn about things they don't know nothing about. You know, and so it's like any change in a factory, everybody in the factory has to get involved in it, and that's difficult because they're all stuck in a rut doing things their own way. Quite
silos a lot of the time.
They are, and that is the problem with the way we run a lot of industry. You know, it's easier to have a dictator at the top just saying, get it in place. I don't care. And that's what's good about private companies. You know, so that's what I want. That's proved it works. Do it. And they force people to do it. That brings about change and keeps them up there. Whereas a lot of larger companies, they're just too big to change because they're mobile. You know, they've got systems. You know, you're just fighting. You talk to them, but this is run by the Barcelona office. This is run by the Munich office. We'll have to pass it past them. And that's people just saying, I don't want to make a decision. Not being responsible for development.
Not being responsible,
that's
really interesting.
Everybody is responsible for development of the company because they're all leads in departments. They should be coming to the table and saying, what you got new this week? What you got new this week?
When there's a culture that invites that, that's when change happens, isn't it?
It's like when I worked for Fleur, I worked for Fleur for 16 years as a quality manager, as a senior inspector, as interpreting inspector for engineering. And we used to sit down at a meeting, and the first thing was like, health and safety, anybody saying anything? And you used to have something there right, anybody seeing a technology that we don't use that we could use? And these were questions at the start of every meeting.
Wow.
And the first 5 to 7 minutes of a meeting would be, right, pass it over, let's have a look at it.
So innovation, really.
Yeah, innovation, because people would travel in the world.
Yeah.
And I would go out to a factory and come back and say, no, that's not right. You know, and we used to have some heated arguments. We used to have look, I can't say that, but discussions, yes. We used to have discussions. But the thing was, discussion came about because people were stuck against change.
Okay, yeah.
You know, whether you wanted to change the manufacturer of a welding rod, the supplier, or for me, it was, they can't supply it for the whole of the job.
Yeah.
They can only supply it for the next 10 weeks. But the Chinese supply it whenever you want it. You know, and when you're welding Chinese metal, you're better off using a Chinese welder. Rather than, because we had one job where they wanted to import the weld material from Europe to weld a Chinese piece of metal. I was like, yeah, but you'll get the best results with the Chinese welding material and Chinese metal.
Yeah, okay.
You know, because the guy who's doing it knows how to handle it.
Yeah.
We've now got to retrain the welder because it's slightly different. And is the machine slightly different? It's already tuned to that. So, yeah, it's just difficult. Change is difficult to bring.
It is, and I think, you know, just not to bang the China drum too much, but I think there's been some bad press from China. You know, I was very against China for an amount of time, as in, like, I don't want to buy anything from China anymore. It's cheap, it's not sustainable, all these credentials that keep coming in factories that, you know, it's not great, blah, blah. And in fact, there was one brand that I really liked the product of, but I refused to buy it, even though I really liked it, because it came from China. I was like, I'm not going to do it. And I thought, you know, I'm going to have a little look. They talk about sustainability, so I'm going to have a little like proper in-depth about the credentials. And I found an area in China that's actually really, really positive for sustainability in terms of resource, in terms of waste, in terms of culture, employability, all that kind of, so all aspects. And I'm a bit like, oh, okay. So this is a different China to me. So it's not the, we shouldn't say a brand really, but like the cheaper clothing type China that perhaps, you know, you don't want to stand next to a candle in, versus actually really good quality product that has been researched well and has amazing technology and has people that have made it who are very positive about that kind of lack of waste or reusable waste and utilisation, optimisation that you mentioned before and things like that. That was a complete eye-opener for me. So I'm a bit like, right, I shouldn't be so blind to that.
I'd say, working for this consultancy in China, where we used to go out and inspect factories before we gave them the order. Yeah. And you'd go and look at 4 or 5 factories. And they're no good for that. They're the one for that. They're the one for that. So, and very often purchasing would go the wrong way. And we had one purchase order was released by the Australian office. I was like, what you sent it there for? It's $1.5 million. And I'm like, it's peanuts. What? It says $1.5 million is peanuts. Well, it's not, it's a big order. No. The factory that you give it to also make tunnel boring machines. They are 250 million a pop. They're going to get that order and subcontract that.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm now going to have to follow that all over the back streets of northern China before it comes together.
Wow.
No. I said, yeah, look at them on. And they agreed. They looked on the website and seen all these tunnel boring machines and all the other things that they made. Why have you given them an order for 1.5 million? And then we're working with a gold mine, and I can't remember which country the order came out of, but we want these to get the order. And right, you went. And this company said they could provide 95% of the PO. Okay. So it's right. It's like, went to the meeting, I'm sending you the money, they're doing a good job, and then it was Mr. South, this bit here. Yeah, the bitumen plates, we can't do them. Well, why? So this was sprayed bitumen on a plate, which then gave protection against corrosion for the process that was there. And so this guy says, we can't make them. Well, why? You've said, I said, we said when we return the PO, we can do 95% of it. We didn't say we do 100%. Yeah, okay, right. What's the issue? Well, we've got to export this to Australia, yeah? It's illegal to make these in Australia.
Oh dear.
Under Chinese law, we now can't make them.
Oh,
what?
Wow.
So you see, the thing is, right, what had happened was this company had made them for years, then they can't make them because of the law, then it's like, oh, we'll ship the dirty job to China. Like, wow. Now we're stuck with, we've said we will build this factory and export it.
Yeah.
Terence, you've got to find somebody to do this now.
Yeah, off you pop.
Off you pop. Find an equivalent of that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go for it. So we eventually did it. Took us a couple of months, but it was flown there in the end, but it got there and it was done. We had an alternative for the process and it passed. But you see, people, again, what we said before, don't accept change. It's like, well, that's the way we've always done it.
Yeah.
That's it. There was a thing where there was a machine built in Wales. And the guy from China was moved to Wales because that machine had now been bought by a French company. So the machine will be now made in France. So he went to Wales. He was a Frenchman, and when he came back to pick his wife and the kids, he said, "I can't understand a word they're saying."
Oh.
But anyway, it was like this machine had changes over the years.
Yeah.
So they got it to France, and it was like, "But where's the electrical drawings? Why is there no electrical drawings?" So he says, "What I did was I went to the electrical company who made the looms for these machines, and they give me this drawing that had been made in the 60s.
Oh my goodness.
And he says, "But that's what you originally give us. We have made all the changes as you've asked. Those drawings are ours."
Oh my life.
So it's people making things and not understanding who owns what in the system. Yeah. Manufacturing is a real complicated thing when you start subletting jobs and keeping control of the product.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess that goes back to kind of supply chain management and all that kind of stuff, doesn't it, as well? So,
it does, because it's just a box you tick.
Yeah.
When you do your carbon footprint.
Yeah, exactly.
Stage 3, that's down there.
all sorted.
Yeah, all sorted. They fill the forms in. But nobody actually goes and presses the button and tests it.
No.
That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
So back to the laser tech that you use. So there's no chemicals.
No.
There's a small amount of waste that you hoover up, basically, as you do it.
Yes.
And you take away.
Yes.
There's no damage.
No.
There's just you and a mate, or I don't
Yeah,
know,
there's myself, two of the guys.
Not a mate, but
I have
you and a colleague or whatever
Yeah.
to do the work, depending on the size of the job. And you work on all sorts of materials.
Yeah,
So-
we work on stone, we work on heavy duty plastics, we work on metal, we work on wood.
Why is the world not doing this all the time?
Well, because it's something they say on the internet. You know, I mean, a lot of people when we do these trade shows and things, they say, "I've seen it on the internet and I didn't believe it."
I was just about to tell you something about that.
Because it's like, when I see that and I see the machine, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
They've got to see the whole process. And that's the good thing about these car shows, etc. When you've got the whole thing there, and you go,
yeah.
Is it
So
simple
the
as that?
first time we met, it was at a networking event. I can still remember to this day, and we were sat at the same table. We introduced ourselves, I think maybe like 6 or 8 of us around the table. And you passed around your phone with a video of some graffiti being removed off a wall.
Yeah, we did the Town Moor in Newcastle.
Yeah.
120 metres of graffiti off in 4.5 days. Yeah.
And you passed the phone round, and I was a bit like, this guy's having a laugh. That's not real. Like, he's just made that. Or somebody's made you a very clever film, because that cannot happen like that. It was like some sort of, well, back at 3 years ago, CGI. Clearly now AI. Whatever, it didn't look real. I mean, obviously I know you now, so I know it was completely authentic. But I can see why people would think that's not real. Like, whatever you're touting is a bit of China tech that doesn't really work.
Yeah.
I can see that. I don't believe that clearly, but it's a shame that people can't, I I don't know, just see past that and think, actually, some of the stuff is real, and it's just a phenomenal.
Yeah, but the thing is, one of the things that's difficult to accept is it's so far removed from the process it replaces.
Yes, which is dirty and
Yeah,
messy.
because
and
there's been no
cost.
progress, there's been no change,
Yeah, okay.
and now there's just this massive wow, no more.
So have you approached colleges and where they're training apprentices? Have you
Yeah.
tried that?
One of the problems.
I mean, that's going to be an obvious question, isn't it?
One of the problems you've got is if it's not part of the curriculum, you can't take. If you take up time in the curriculum, then you have problems and people not passing exams. Their time's absorbed learning something which is of no use to them for their exams.
So how do we get it in the curriculum?
How do you get it in the curriculum? It's one of the questions.
Okay, people out there, how do we get it into the curriculum? Because it's bonkers. It's bonkers they're not being taught this.
It's mad, but
the equipment's not massively expensive, I'm guessing.
No, it's not. We bought
It's
it.
new tech.
Yeah, if it's new tech, we get on the road for like 20 grand for, but we've got like quite a few now.
Yeah. All over the country, right?
Different lasers do different jobs. Yeah.
Do you think it's a case of, I know obviously there's that kind of like almost silo mindset, like you said, we've always done it this way, it's fine. Do you think there's not the realisation that this also contributes to their environmental status, carbon footprint maybe, because they could use that, I'm sure.
It is, it's a huge stepping stone, and that's the bit a lot of them don't get, because it's, the environment is really part of HSE and a number of other departments.
Yeah.
And ironically, a lot of
the time.
a lot of this carbon calculation has now gone to the accountants.
Yeah.
So it's like, again, bringing a whole table together to say, why are we not doing it? Why have we not integrated this in? What's the problem? Why are we not looking at different ways of doing things? Yeah. So that's really what I see. Yeah. It's nobody will take responsibility in case it goes
so we're almost
expensive.
Now.
It's like,
or goes wrong.
What do we do?
Isn't that what we learn? Like we learn all the time from
going wrong.
Go wrong.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's a whole different session.
That's a whole different session.
Okay, so, and also, obviously, from a finance point of view, it would contribute to the bottom line because it's going to be cost savings.
There is cost savings in it, but the biggest cost saving, right, is in your waste disposal.
Yes. Talk more about that.
Which is...
And legislation,
That's the big thing.
Okay.
As long as you're trained to do the job, you've got less space required, which is a huge benefit.
So less disruption.
It's a cleaner process, and you've got less to get rid of, and therefore you've got more chance of attracting people to do the job and do it correctly than you have shot blasting. We can't get anybody to do it. Constant churn of people going deaf, claims for this, that, and the other. Change the process.
Yeah, wow.
And you'll end up with one guy who just gels with it. It's like, turn it up, turn it down. That's the way we do it. Cracked it. There's the chance for younger people to make a real name for themselves in a large corporation.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Let's hope somebody's listening. Either, I don't know, grandparents, parents, kids, apprentices, whatever, that they can maybe get in touch and learn, educate themselves, even if it's just out of interest, but then hopefully whatever businesses they work with.
Yeah, our Facebook page is where we post everything, because it's a regular thing that we do. Yeah. And top right hand corner will be a number 26, which is the year, and then you go right down. We're now on, I think it's 22. Where we've done jobs, fireplaces, castles, outside of buildings. Spindles on historic buildings on the staircase, so they didn't have to take them out.
What's the weirdest thing you've done, if you can say?
Oh, I don't know. A guy wanted a number.
Okay.
And so we are just about to go across the borders into Scotland.
Yeah.
Tell you, we've got a problem. We need to put these together, and we can't find the part numbers. And? Well, when can you come? Well, I'm off to Scotland now. Well, can you not come now? No. Well, we've just realised the problem, the whole place is at standstill. Turned around, drove down. So back down in Middlesbrough, it was like, where should the number be? Well, it's somewhere around here. You start the laser up, go, there it's there. Oh, right. Oh, brilliant. And that one there, and that one there, and that one there. Great. Because the problem is with part numbers, when you're trying to put things together, especially if you're working on something, for instance, if you're working like a desalination plant or something Lloyd's registered, you'd have all the numbers for the various parts that all go back together in the same order that it was built. So they've got numbers and edges marked so they go together. But normally they grind it to clean it or wire brush it. So you're taking it away, so every year it gets less and less and less. So then you say to the guy, right, we'll take you the invoice. You've only been here half an hour. But we've driven from Scotland to here.
Just hang on. Yeah.
Well, it's minimal charge, you know. Oh, wow. But you've only been here half an hour.
Well, next time, let them wait a week. See how they go on. I mean, you know.
But it's one of those things, you know. It's one of those things that now they know the niche. They know what we can do. Get them in straight away, get them clean, done.
It's worth the price, isn't it?
It is, it definitely is. We've just finished a BMW motorbike with all the fins and the rest of it on the sides of the engine. Done. Wow. You can't normally,
like new again.
You can't normally do that.
That's amazing.
You know, so they just...
What would they have done before? They just had to leave it, or just
take
some of it off really?
They take the engine off and they start with toothbrushes and wire brushes and wheels that go round. And but as long as we can see it, we can get it.
It's amazing.
That's the big thing, you know. So you don't take things apart. It's the time saved.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the time saved in what you do. Yeah. Because you're also saving money because you don't have to take the thing apart very often to do something.
Terry, it's been absolutely fantastic to have you on the podcast. I have been wanting to have you on for a while, so I'm really glad that you said yes.
Thank you very much.
Can I just ask you for a book recommendation? Because I ask all my guests for a book recommendation, fact or fiction, something that you think people would enjoy a read of.
The best read I've had of late is Margaret Thatcher's Spy.
Really? Okay. Is that because you want to be a spy?
No. No, it's about a guy who was Irish, joined the British Army, and his last 3 digits of his army's number, believe it or not, was 007.
No.
Yeah. And he wrote his command officer and said, can I get out of the army? Is it okay to go and live in Northern Ireland? What do? Because I've been in the army for like 20 years or whatever. And he said, of course you've got it. And then that message got passed on to another agency and said, definitely not.
Oh.
Do not go back. It's not safe. You need to live in the UK, you need to do this, that, and the other. And he went back because by this time his wife and children had already gone. Yeah. And he became a spy within the IRA. It's a brilliant book.
Oh my goodness.
And
I might have to dig that
It's
one
how
out.
he negotiated life, and poor guys ended up with nothing.
Well,
you know.
But a great story.
He had to be extricated, shall we say, because they found out who he was and whatever. Okay. It's a real good read. For me, it was a 4 read, so it was a good read.
Yeah, okay.
It was one of those you'd see out only as well. Oh, can I put this down?
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I do get hooked on all the recommendations that I have for my guests, but that one does sound. I'm going on holiday in a few weeks, so actually, I think I might see if I can get a copy.
Yeah, it's a good read.
Yeah,
good read.
I will. Thank you for that. Yeah. Terry, where can people find you, find ISR, find out about more, what you can help them with, whether they're engineering or whatever?
You'll find me on LinkedIn, Terence South. You'll find the company at www.isrlaser.com. And the best place to really look to us is Facebook. Okay. Because we update that on a regular basis, simply due to the cost. Yeah. And that's it. It's ISR Laser Facebook. ISR Laser. Yeah. We're always available to go and look, talk to people. Yeah. Talk them through problems that they've got to see if we can help them. Yeah. That isn't a problem.
Yeah, good. Well, I will certainly put some links, obviously, to your platforms because, it's phenomenal what you can do with that technology. And like I say, I'm just sad that not enough people are embracing it. But I think hopefully this podcast will help a little bit.
Yeah. Once people see it, they normally run with it. Like the company in Newcastle that's seen it, the farmers have seen it once, and now.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, our van comes totally self-contained. Yeah. You've got your own generator, your own extraction unit, your own laser. Just open the doors. You're in the barn. You do the job. Pull away. Before you'd have to take it off, send it to the blasters, send it to get painted. He just paints it himself. Job done.
Amazing. You heard it here first. Well, probably not first, but you know.
Yeah.
It's been around for a while. Yeah. Thank you so much for
And
coming.
you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. And thank you for watching and listening. See you next time. Thank you so much for listening or watching the Responsible Marketing Podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please hit the subscribe button wherever you get your podcast from. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe there too. I also love to get reviews as they make a huge difference to others discovering the show. So please leave a review, any comments or questions on whichever platform you prefer. And of course, feel free to share out your socials with your friends and your colleagues. If you want to contact me direct, you can email joe@jolongconsulting.com or find me on LinkedIn under my own name, Joe Long. Until next time, thanks for listening and for watching.